Your rating is stuck because you ignore these important positional principles. Most opening books tell you to occupy the center, develop your pieces, and castle. However, chess is more of an art than a science, and it's not good to always blindly follow these rules. Let's start with the first of two instructive games. I was white, and the center is closed. Here a lot of players would suggest a move like castling queenside or knight h3, which are both reasonable moves. But sometimes it could be better to disobey these rules and instead start an attack, which I did with h4. And this is possible because it's supported by the rook on h1, which is still on its starting square. Sometimes undeveloped pieces, especially long range pieces such as bishops, rooks, and queens, could be more effective than developed ones. Now, after e5, I played the move h5, and here I am utilizing two positional principles. This pawn on g6 is called a hook, a pawn further advanced than its neighbours, becoming a target for my h-pawn. Enemy hooks can be used to open up the position, allowing your pieces to be more active. Now some of you may be thinking, this pawn is attacked twice, and only defended once. Can't black just win the pawn on h5? This is where our next positional tip comes in handy, and it's to not be afraid of sacrifices made for positional gain. Many players are taught that a pawn is worth 1 point, a knight 3, and so on. But these are not absolute values. For example, a rook is only worth 5 points if it has the mobility to move like a rook. Currently, this rook is worth 4, maybe 3 points as it's blocked by the h-pawn. However, after knight takes h5, white has the entire h-file to use for the rook, so it increases in value to 5 or 6 points. After g4, attacking the knight, black played knight f6, and now it's just a mate in 2, queen h6, king g8, then queen h8. Nice mates. And that's all thanks to the sacrifice h5, opening up the h-file. Notice how both the major pieces are on the file that we open with a pawn. We have just seen that pawns can easily be sacrificed to open up lines for other pieces. Pawns are the most abundant pieces in the game of chess. When we advance a pawn, we claim the territory behind it. However, pawns cannot move backwards, and this weakness will be highlighted in the next game. So here I was white, and it's quite hard to figure out a clear plan at the moment, as there aren't any good squares for my pieces. Although black's king hasn't yet castled, the centre is closed, so black is quite safe here. But everything changed after black's next move, d4. This seems like an innocent little pawn move, closing the centre to avoid attacks. However, it's a huge positional blunder, for two reasons. Firstly, black has made doubled backward pawns on the c-file, which are hard to defend and are therefore weak in an endgame. The plan for white here could be to exchange pieces, followed by attacking the pawns. However, secondly, in addition, by moving to d4, black has forfeited control of the light squares, c4 and e4. And I took advantage of this by playing knight c4. And now this knight, which was once passive on d2, has leapt into action, attacking a5 and controlling key central squares. This square is called an outpost, because it cannot be attacked by an enemy pawn. This brings us nicely onto our next tip. A few more moves have been played, and now, although the knight looks good on c4, it's not really making much of an impact on the game. It's attacking empty squares, and the a5 pawn is securely defended by two of black's major pieces. Now, it's one thing to be able to recognize the strength of outposts and occupy them with pieces such as knights, but sometimes your opponent will be more positionally aware and not voluntarily create them. Now, this upcoming rule is very hard to grasp even for advanced players, but it's crucial to develop a higher level of positional skill, and that is being able to create your own outposts. And this requires some clever moves with the pawns. So here I played the move e5, and suddenly this knight has an outpost right in the heart of black's fortress on d6, or e5 if black plays f takes e5. And a knight on the 6th rank may be worth 5 or even 6 points. And after f5, a lot of people will leap straight in with knight d6, but I decided first to bring more pieces into the attack. The final important rule is that if you're only attacking with one piece, the attack will likely fail. It's a bit like in football, where there's no point having 11 players if 6 of them are just standing around beside the goal. And we can apply this to attacking in chess. So I played knight h4, and after knight e7, the outpost is finally occupied with knight d6. After king f8, I played queen h5, and notice how we have two knights and a queen, all working together to checkmate. And the game ended in just 4 more moves. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.